Barack Obama, tumushangilie, tunakuombea maisha marefu, tunakutakia kazi mzuri, Uongozi baba ni kipawa upewa na Mungu, wewe unacho, leta amani, mabadiliko, matumaini. Wamarekani na walimwengu tumekupenda, Wamarekani na walimwengu tumekupenda. Obama ubarikiwe, Obama ubarikiwe.
Get your Washington Post hands.
Welcome to our program, and I'm your presenter, Ayoub mzee. Most of you watching this program, I know there are so many historical things that have happened to you or in your life or in somebody's human life or human time. And most of the people of my generations, especially people who describe themselves as ethnic minorities, the re-election or the election of President Barack Obama of the United States of America must be one of those historical issues that one will never forget during his lifetime. Once again, I have embarked on this trip to go to the United States of America and retract the steps that also Barack Obama took to presidency. I'm retracting those tapes to see where America was, how the people felt then, and how they feel now. How it was then, the euphoria, the jubilations and celebrations, and how it is now.
This is our time, a new time. They brought us here in chains. They said we were nothing. We couldn't eat in the restaurants. We couldn't ride on the buses. We had to sit upstairs in the movie theater. That's what my grandma used to tell me. And look at us now. No matter what you do to us, we rise. This is history, y'all. This is history. The greatest historical event in America, period. Period. You don't believe me? Google the Dred Scott decision. They said, the Supreme Court said we were not even human. We were property. And look at us now. I say right on. I say black power. I say power to the people. I say revolution. It's our time. It's our time.
For those who were not here, or for those who were not there, once again, the Democratic candidate, Barack Obama, has won an overwhelming victory over the Republican John McCain in the U.S. presidential elections this year. And the Democrats significantly increased their majorities in both the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. As of midnight, Obama was projected to win 338 electoral votes compared to 156 for McCain. With 5 states still too close to call, a total of 270 electoral votes is required for victory. The Democrats had gained at least 5 seats in the Senate and nearly 20 seats in the House, with the outcome of many contests still undetermined. President Obama carried 26 states, all 19 won by the 2004 Democratic candidate John Kerry, and 7 states won by Bush in that elections, that is Virginia, Florida, Ohio, and Iowa, Colorado, New Mexico, and Nevada. He was leading in the 3 more states won by Bush in 2004, Indiana, North Carolina, and Montana, as I'm filing this report. Now let's bring in the Obama factor. What has been your experience as a media person covering Obama right from the day? Because I remember when I worked in the office, I saw a picture whereby your department's private service had contacted Obama when he was even still a senator. And what has been your relationship? How have you covered this story?
It's been very exciting. Our thing is this is an American story, and we are the best people who can tell it. It's an American story because only in America you can have such, somebody coming from such humble beginnings and go all the way to become president of the U.S. And the other thing is, being that Obama has some African roots in Kenya, which is our target area, also made the story closer to us. So we started covering Obama when he was running for the the Illinois Senate. Even before he became a national name, we were onto him as somebody who has roots in our target area, and we started covering him then. So when I remember when he made his speech at the 2004, July 2004 National Democratic Convention in Boston, I was covering the convention, and I remember having a TV interview with Shaka Sali, and I was telling Shaka that, this man is somebody to watch. A lot of people thought that way after his speech. But he is somebody that we have been covering, from Chicago, and when he, came into the presidential election primaries, the Democratic primaries, of course, we have that affinity. We know that the people in Kenya, in Africa, they are, very much interested in his candidacy, and we have been covering his story from the beginning. It's been a very exciting time for us.
And now, coming back to the issue of Barack Obama, what is your view? How do you view the elections of Barack Obama?
Actually, I'm from Baton Rouge, but Barack Obama, I feel that the election is something that it's overrated, but at the same time, it's necessary. It's overrated in the sense that that we have to understand that things happen for a reason, especially in American society. There are things that, that are in the workings that we aren't necessarily going to be in control of, whether we feel that we are in control or not. But at the same time, it's necessary because of the things that are going on internationally, because of the relations that we are having with the Middle East and with Africa. We should be able to view ourselves as people who value equality, who value basically the main principles that America was founded on. Barack Obama, he represents that. He represents the change that we need so we can progress from this absolute, disparity that we're in right now.
Obama's national margin is in the popular vote will approach 10 million. He has won by the largest margin for a non-incumbent candidate for president since Eisenhower in 19. First and foremost, the election outcome is a massive repudiation of the Bush presidency, the Republican Party, and nearly 3 decades of right-wing domination of American politics.
I'm Shepard Fairey. I created an image of Barack Obama almost exactly 1 year ago because I felt that he was the best candidate for president. I was really inspired by his speech in 2004 at the Democratic Convention and began following him. And when he announced his candidacy, I really was impressed. The more I saw, the more I felt I should support him. So I did what I do, which is make art, and made a poster which says hope beneath it. And it eventually caught on and became sort of the unofficial official image of the campaign, and I'm blown away that it's now being it's now in the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery, which is absolutely surreal.
Connecting all of us together. There's always one person who brings us all together. We need to be together, and he was the glue that brought us all together. So thank you, Paul. And I really have to thank the Podestas for this wonderful gift. We are so excited about this. And we will also need to thank James Bell from Boeing for the corporate contribution, because you do these things, somebody has to pay for the food. So thank you very much for being a partner also. It's a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization, and we are about promoting the next generation of black leaders, African American leaders. So we see a lot of young people out here. Those are the next Barack Obamas out there in the audience. There are quite a few of them here today. See and meet our wonderful artist, Shepard Fairey, who's from Charleston, South Carolina. I need to say that. And you know, many of us who saw his portrait, we didn't know who he was, but we just know that that portrait captured something. And I remember I was out in Denver at the Democratic Convention, and I saw a man with one of those buttons, and I said, oh, I want one. And he pulled it off and gave it to me, and I still have that button. But it's wonderful because it's all about hope, and it's all about what our incoming president is about, bringing us all together across race lines, across age lines, across gender lines, across ethnic lines. So
is here representing the over 40-plus members of the Congressional Black Caucus. This election was unlike any other election in the history of the United States of America. We are very, very proud that one of our own members would have the opportunity in all of our lifetimes to have the chance to be the leader of the free world and to be able to not only prove to the world what America is all about, but also to lift up our country to make sure that every American know that they can reach their full potential.
It is a watershed election, no one which reflects in the electoral framework the massive demographic, socio-economic, and cultural shifts over the past quarter of a century. More significantly, the election's outcome has disproved the claim that United States is a racist nation and that irrational and racial animosities triumph all other states. Welcome back. This is the third day of my visit to the US, which I call the journey to Barack Obama's journey to presidency. As you know, that we are trying to be part of this historic occasion whereby Barack Obama will be the first African-American president to be sworn in as the head of state of the US. Everybody knows the story. As you know, in London, we have tried to cover this story quite extensively. And your station is here today to be able to bring this story to you so that you can get information firsthand. What do I say? First of all, we have been able to go to to the Senate, whereby this is the capital. As you know, that the capital is where everything happens as far as law is concerned. We were able to talk to different people about the issues and what happens around the area. I was able to go to the Capitol's library and talk to the person who's in charge of the library to tell us what the history of the house. And we had even guided tours of the area. And then you saw what happens as well. Yeah, but it's quite amazing if you are down there let me say in London, or especially in Europe, the kind of politics in Europe down there, I could say it's quite true that it's quite different from what happens around here. For example, you've heard about the primaries, the caucus and the convention and all those things. They don't happen in the UK. But it's quite amazing as well what I've experienced here. The issue of the buzz, what is happening? What is happening here is that everybody is in a mood. I don't know how I can term it. Maybe in my lifetime in the UK, I could say, do you remember, I'm not saying that it's the same occasion, but the buzz that the nation had before, from my own assessment, I stand to be corrected. If you still remember the day we lost Princess Diane, may her soul rest in peace. You remember how the tension was attained, the whole nation was attention. This is what I'm looking at here. People are excited. People are excited. I went around Capitol Hill, especially around the House of Representatives and the Senate, and I found these black girls, and I spoke to them, and I did try to find out what they think about this whole event. They were really, really excited. Some of them were very, very shy to appear on camera, but lots of people even gave me their views in private, and I can tell it is quite a moment. But at the same time, security is very, very tight. So, as I've been watching also the news here on US television, I'm seeing that there are so many issues that Americans and questions they are asking, for example, how will Barack Obama deliver his promises, his election promises? There are issues on healthcare, issues on housing, immigration, foreign policy. Foreign policy is very, very important because you know that in most cases, as far as abroad we are concerned, it is foreign policy that makes what we think is a good U.S. administration. The economy is a very, very, very important thing for the country as well. Everybody you talk to, the people I spoke to right from the airport, what do you think? What do you expect from Barack Obama? So most of the people I spoke to, they just say, as long as he sorts the economy for us, we are done. That's enough for us. So I'm looking to tomorrow, which is another day, whereby I'll try and build up the story, the journey to U.S. presidency. See you then.
Hi, my name is Erica Brown. I am a sophomore, broadcast journalism major from Howard University, and I feel like the election of Barack Obama is a monumental event for the United States and specifically for African Americans. It shows America's growth as a nation, how tolerant we've become, and it also kind of contributes to the main ideals of the nation, meaning that you can do anything that you want to do in the United States of America despite socioeconomic boundaries. So I'm very proud now to be an American and more importantly to be an African American because it shows how far we've come. And it's also just so enlightening to know that once enslaved and once denied access to rights because of our skin color, we now have come thus far and we've able to reach the highest office in America. So it's amazing. I'm very happy, I'm very proud, and I'm honored to have him as my chief executive.
And what message have you got for people in London?
I'm sorry?
What message have you got for people in the UK, black people in the UK?
Even though you're overseas, I feel like you should still share in our euphoria at this time. Just as a people, black people in general, despite the fact that you're in London or we're in America, we should all just be proud that we're progressing in such a monumental way.
Conventions as well. Do you think that really is going to change the spectrum or the face of politics in USA and the world?
Honestly, I don't know because on one hand there is the understanding that everything happens for a reason, like I mentioned before, American society. For example, the civil rights movement. It's not necessarily that there was a lot of rioting and there was a lot of I guess powerful words being thrown around, but it was also the fact that there was a lot of things going on in Africa, and relations with Africa had to be positive, and they had to basically portray a particular image to Africa in order to get certain things done. And that's exactly what's going on right now. There's oil that can be, taken from Africa right now that they can't take from the Middle East. And I mean, if they portray a certain kind of image and, Africa is okay with that, then, everything's going to happen in America's favor. But on the other hand, Barack Obama has basically the entire world behind him, and if he can, gather that just by being elected, then, I mean, Lord knows what he can do just by trying to make, say, legislation pass.
According to exit polls, only a very small percentage of voters stated that the issue of race exerted any influence of their vote. Instead, under the impact of war, financial crisis, and deepening recession, tens of millions, in a complete rational manner, voted to express their democratic and essential egalitarian aspirations. Although given the distorted and limiting framework of official politics, the only outlet for their sentiment was vote for the Democrats. When I was going around Capitol Hill, which is the heart of the American legislative administration, I met this man. He is a poet, well-educated man. The message he carried said so much. And this is what he said.
This is our time, a new time. They brought us here in chains. They said we were nothing. We couldn't eat in the restaurants. We couldn't ride on the buses. We had to sit upstairs in the movie theater. That's what my grandma used to tell me. And look at us now. No matter what you do to us, we rise. This is history, y'all. This is history. The greatest historical event in America, period. Period. You don't believe me? Google the Dred Scott decision. They said, the Supreme Court said we were not even human. We were property. And look at us now. I say right on. I say black power. I say power to the people. I say revolution. It's our time.
Tell. But for us here today, the moment is now, and time is now. Yeah. Let's see what the papers say. As you can see, this is Express. This is one of the local papers in Springfield. There you go. Few moments in history have marked as pricelessly and profoundly the end of one of the era and the start of another, as will today swearing in of Barack Obama Hussein as the nation's first president. What was once the ultimate impossibility will become the reality against which future generations will measure the magnitude of the inspiration. That is some of the papers.
This is still America. Grab up, brother.
Get your Obama flag here. Obama right here.
Obama's in the building, you dig me?
Yeah. Come here real quick.
So how's the experience been for you
The
for
experience
Obama?
crazy. You know what I'm saying? I've been in D.C. for a couple months now. Me and my homies down here from Philadelphia. We're here showing love. Family coming down, friends. What's up?
What's this experience mean to you personally?
This is crazy. Listen, I've been in D.C. for a while now. This is my first time down here. This is my first time coming down here. The monument, all that. We out here. We doing it big. We gonna have a good time this weekend. Everybody, we all in town. Y'all take it easy, my man. You see the shirt? Show love. Show love. Have a good.
Post here, Obama. Obama. Commemorative edition election special. Washington Post, day after the election. Obama makes history. Post here, $5. Ready to frame. You don't have to cut it.
$20 for Obama shirt. $20 for Obama.
You gotta make some noise for it to come over here.
For London, for the people of African descent in London, I feel, and I actually have family over in England, I feel that we should all come together and we should not try to highlight the differences that we have among us, but try to, I guess, build on the things that we have that are, you know, inherent within us. You know, because it's not going to get any better. It's never going to get any better. It's, you know, we have to make it better. We can't just sit here and think that, oh, you know, well, we have to wait on the Americans to do something. We have to wait on the Africans, you know, in Africa to do something. We need to take it upon ourselves individually so we can actually happen collectively.
Found themselves here. And so we're here to be part of this history.
Now, the history itself, what does it mean to us as Africans, the fact that we have got the first black American president being inaugurated tomorrow?
Yeah, I must say that it has brought respect and dignity to an African man. This is the greatest country on earth, being ruled by an African. It is something that we need to, if, you know, I like the adjective to actually qualify the way I feel as an African. And I believe that is the general feeling of all Africans across the world, that this country is being ruled by an African is something that all Africans should rejoice for. And as one of the leaders in my country, it shows me that with commitment, determination, and the resilience to succeed, we as Africans also can make a whole lot of difference on our continent.
My name is Mwencha, Deputy Chairperson of the African Union. We have come here to Washington from Addis Ababa to join the Americans in celebrating this momentous occasion when first African American was elected and inaugurated as president of one of the most powerful country in the world, the United States. For me, again, it is an added dimension that coming from Kenya and knowing, having known and met Barack's father, it has given me tremendous humility to see how America can continue to shine as a leading democracy in the world. That someone with a background such as Barack can be elected, and someone such as Barack with such ample background with such talents can be identified and given the most powerful job in the world.
I think President Obama's speech has been very inspiring today, and talking about change and talking about generational change, as well as telling the world they have the might, but they are not going to ignore the other part of the world, that they should be partners in bringing peace, in security, in economic development, and they are going to look at giving opportunities to people. The wealth creation is not for Africa, for America alone, it's for the whole world.
Thank you very much, Mr.
You saw their view. Everybody's here in town. The steps that I'm taking here on your behalf today, I'm taking the steps towards the most historic moment that can only happen in a lifetime. As far as I'm concerned, as far as these people behind me are concerned, what means to them a lot, is the fact that Barack Obama is going to be sworn in as the president today. What follows later, history will... A great day not only for black people, a great day not only for ethnic minorities, but it is a great day for all people of all color and all races, whether you are white or green and blue. People in London watching this program, you have got to be here to understand what it means to the whole world, not only to Americans, to the whole world, this day here today. You can see the crowd right behind me here. Lots of, let me say, there are quite a lot of things going on. They are buying the memorabilia, they are buying the artifacts, the t-shirts, the badges, the hearts, the scarves, the gloves. I've got my piece here as well, which my friends from Missouri bought for me. You can see it's an Obama youthful picture. This is the piece that I'm going to go with to London to show my Londoners and my viewers that this is what I got for you from the USA, because I've been a privilege to be part of this history here today.
Awero,
We're ready here. We're going right to the inauguration. It's the day of. I'm very excited. We're walking with millions of people. It's cold, but yet we're still warm because we got all the people around us. It's a great thing. You see the crowd. Everybody's come out. We're just doing our thing, man. Just follow me. See what I can get into.
Kids are like little superstars here. They have their own little
It's already in.
Well, everybody, as you know, that today is the day itself. This is the D-Day whereby Barack Obama, a few minutes from now, he's going to be sworn in as the 44th Black President of America. This is a historic moment, and we're here on your behalf to bring this historic moment to you. And this is what happened. The election of Barack Obama means to you?
Oh, I think it means a lot to me, but he got a lot of, he got a lot of cleaning up to do for size in the United States and everything, because there's a lot messed up here, and I hope he can pull it through. All the economy is messed up and everything, and I think he's strong enough to do it. You know, he got a strong cabin and everything, so I think he can pull it through for him and everything. But he got a lot of little cleaning up to do though, because it's messed up here. It's messed up besides jobs and everything else, you know. But Obama, I think he can pull it through.
Sure. Get your Obama flag here. Get your Obama flag.
Can we just ask you a few questions on camera?
What's the question, buddy?
We just want to ask how the business is, real quick.
How the business?
Yeah, how's your business doing?
It's doing great. It's doing great, baby.
Doing great, doing great.
Get your Obama flag here. $5, baby.
$5. It's a great deal.
Get your Obama flag.
There are so many civil rights activists who have come before Obama. What do you think went wrong? Why were they not successful?
I don't think it was their fault by any means. It had nothing to do with what they were doing. I think the reason why they were unsuccessful was because the mass majority of the people who were white did not want change. And I think that's what it came down to. I think they put up a valiant effort. They did everything in their power they could do. And it was the people in power at the time, the white people who were racist, who would forbid change. They did everything they could. They tried peaceful marches, they did boycotting, everything in their power to make the change. And it's unfortunate that it took so long and that it was even where it was at to begin with in the first place.
And now, let's look at the most recent person. That was Reverend Jesse Jackson. She's from, let me say, even though she's from the past, but she's somebody who tried to make a shot for the presidency quite recently. That was in the last elections. What do you think he got wrong himself as well?
Personally, for Jesse Jackson, I think it was, he was not able to reach the people as if Obama was. And it was nothing against anything he tried. It was just he spoke for Black America, but he didn't speak for all of America. He was very focused on Black people's rights, which is good. However, when you're representing the entire country, Obama took the stand of never saying that he was just for Black people, that he was for all of America. And that was the big difference. A. B, also, people weren't ready for change at the time in '84. They just weren't ready. And it's unfortunate again, but you know, it was nothing probably he did wrong. The only thing I would say is he didn't reach the majority of the Americans, whereas Obama was able to do that because he always included America.
You can see right now here, this is Capitol Hill. And as you know, that Capitol Hill is the heart of the U.S. administration, as I'm trying to catch up and find out how the people in the U.S. are actually coping or trying to find out what the elections of Barack Obama mean to them.
Hello, I'm Jane from the Library of Congress. This beautiful building was created in 1897 to house the Library of Congress, which had formerly been located in the Capitol itself. The Capitol housed the library up until that time. The library was created about 1800 when the Capitol opened, and at that time consisted pretty much of just law books. But in 1814, when the British burned the Capitol during the War of 1812, that original Library of Congress was totally destroyed. At that time, Thomas Jefferson had already retired as president, was living at Monticello, heard about the loss of Congress's library, and offered to sell Congress his own personal library. So in 1815, after some debate, Congress decided to purchase Thomas Jefferson's library and paid him about $23,000 for about 6,400 volumes. And with that, the library started again, was located once again in the Capitol, where it stayed for several decades. As I said, this building here was built in 1897. That came about because Congress had been acquiring more and more volumes, and the books were taking over the Capitol. And in the 1880s, Congress decided to build a new building to house the books that were taking over the Capitol. And two architects won that competition with this Italian Renaissance design building that was constructed during the 1880s and finished in 1897. This building cost approximately $6.5 million to build in 1897. And in addition to serving the purpose intended, which was to house all of the books taking over the Capitol, Congress also wanted to build a monument to American culture. And so that is the reason this building is so beautiful and so elaborately decorated, was to build this monument to American culture, to show off where we had come in this world at that time in our nation's history, and to provide a place that would inspire Americans who visited this building.
You can see right now here behind me is Capitol Hill. As you know, that this is the Congress, the heart and seat of the U.S. administration. All the legislators, all the legislation, probably most of the important decisions other than the White House that are made in this country, they actually made right behind me here. I did manage to speak to quite a few people who are around here to tell me about this place. As you have seen, I've been able to go to the U.S. Library, Congress Library, and you heard what they say. But let's see what the people say on the street, and this is what they say.
Okay.
Go.
I'm Brandon Kohler, and I'm from Minnesota. And this Obama, being Obama in the presidency is huge for our country. I mean, it gives us a sense of hope and change in a time of desperate need.
Hello, my name is Matthias, and I guess that Barack Obama will significantly improve the policy of the U.S.
My name is Jatera.
My name is Angelique.
And we're from Boston, Massachusetts. And having an African-American president, to me, it's a new beginning, it's a new change.
It symbolizes that a lot of things can change, you know. You can do anything you want to as long as you put your mind to it. Thumbs up.
And it symbolizes hope, because we have hope now.
Woven into the great seal of the United States is a phrase, a motto, a rallying cry. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. Out of many states, cities, neighborhoods, out of such different perspectives, such distinct personalities, so many free and fiercely independent people, emerges one country, one nation. How? How do we move forward as a single nation when our desires seem so different, our views so varied? Not easily and not quietly.
House will come to order. Votes will be taken in the following order. H.R. 3675.
Senate will come to order. On this vote, the
Answers in America come not from one voice, but from many. Out of freedom flows energy, ideas, and passionate, legitimate differences. Peacefully resolving those differences, finding our common ground, is the challenge a free people face, and the job of those we elect to Congress.
situation with the ability to deal with this damaged grain. You know, obviously the...
Mr. President, I would ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration.
100 senators elected for 6-year terms. 435 voting members of the House of Representatives elected for 2-year terms on behalf of over 300 million American citizens. The House, the larger body, is designed to reflect the will of the majority. In the more intimate chamber of the Senate, the voice of each member can be taken into greater account.
Give the farmers of America the certitude they need that there will
funding for the school dropout prevention program that is authorized.
The formation of the laws and policies we live by, the balancing of beliefs, opinions, and desires happens here, in the full dialogue and debate of a freedom hard-earned.
Incredible urgency. We have to do better, and we can do better. This amendment.
The price of becoming an independent people is paid in the blood of soldiers and sacrifice of families. Out of 8 years of struggle in the Revolutionary War emerges a new, at first uncertain country, more in fact, a collection of states. The question is how to create a strong nation while protecting the vital role of the states and the personal liberty of citizens. In Philadelphia, delegates to the Constitutional Convention cannot agree. How are the citizens and states to be represented in this new republic? What emerges is to this day known as the Great Compromise. There shall be one Congress with 2 houses. In the Senate, each state will be equally represented with 2 senators. In the House, each state will have a number of representatives based on population. The Constitution of the United States creates 3 equal branches of government: Congress, the presidency, and the judiciary. And Article 1 makes clear that Congress is the branch most directly connected to the people. In Congress shall reside the power to make all laws, to determine taxes, to regulate commerce, to establish post offices, roads, and courts, and, when necessary, to declare war. The delegates believe every power of government should be exercised carefully, in full consideration of many points of view. The center of this new government, its capital, shall be built on new ground, on the crest of a bluff overlooking the Potomac River, at the heart of a new city called Washington. The design of the building is rooted in an ideal ages old, that citizens can build a government driven not by the whim of a dictator, king, or tyrant, but based on the consent of the governed. This monumental structure, built far from available supplies and resources, will be the largest building of its time in North America. Workers, many of them enslaved African Americans, quarry stone, cut and saw timber, lay brick, and finish rough and fine carpentry. By 1811, the capital of the United States houses in its north wing the U.S. Senate, in its south wing the U.S. House of Representatives. The experiment of representative democracy, of electing citizens to make the decisions of government, has been launched, only, incredibly, to be torched. 2 years into the War of 1812, British troops invade the city, sweep into the capital, and set ablaze the center of American self-government. Doubt that the burned-out city would even remain the nation's capital yields to the resolve of a now-tested nation. A nation pushing west. New states have joined the original 13, adding seats to the Senate and more members to the House. Congress is where the issues of building a nation unfold. One question overshadows all. As new territories are opened for settlement, will they be slave or free? For close to 40 years, the issue is fiercely debated.
American heart, liberty and union. Now, the government is the creature of the states, making war wants no war. Above all, no civil war, no.
In the end, the nation cannot survive half slave and half free, and the country goes to war with itself. The frame of the great dome of the Capitol sits unfinished, but the builders decide to continue, trusting that the nation will endure, that this is not the time to doubt America's future. President Lincoln takes heart. If the people see the Capitol going on, he says, it is a sign that we intend the Union shall go on. Within a few years, the white dome of the Capitol is topped by the statue called Freedom, defining for the ages the national skyline. The new dome reflects an ambitious country. Congress creates new legislation to spur opportunity and growth, while its research arm, the Library of Congress, expands to a dramatic new building across from the Capitol. Also growing is the basic right within this form of government, the right to vote. In Congress, we debate who gets included. Through congressional hearings, constitutional amendments, and landmark legislation, the right to vote will be expanded and protected. The process of seeking solutions to the nation's problems and unleashing the nation's possibilities unfolds over time. Listening to citizens, of creating and at times reshaping policy and legislation. Some bills pass easily, reflecting a wide consensus. Others pass narrowly. Not every idea should become a law. And with time and perspective, some laws are changed or replaced with new legislation. Through the work of Congress, ours is a government of, by, and for the people. We change our prospects and advance our cause through what happens here. This is the core, the center of our experiment in political freedom. Curving walls set on a foundation graceful and granite hard. The artistry and care etched here over time reflect our history and celebrate the nation. We inaugurate our presidents here and come to bid them and others farewell. The U.S. Capitol is our national stage.
Please raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution?
Officer, Mr. Brownback, Mr. Byrd.
We the people are represented in the votes of the members, the cadence of the roll call, the balance between prudent compromise and bedrock beliefs. Congress is the crucible where views and ideas from every corner of the country are expressed, examined, and debated, considered, and considered again. Congress is where we can find our common ground.
As you can see me right here is that I'm in the heart of the USA administration. This is where the legislators sit and where they make all decisions that affect America. But not only do they affect America, they affect the rest of the world because, as you know, if America sneezes, the whole world catches the breath.
Sir.
But,
and thirdly, if you have questions, I'll be pleased to answer these as I can. I would ask that you hold your questions until we have completed the visit of each room. We're standing this afternoon under the dome of the United States Capitol, which is probably the most recognizable symbol of democratic government in the world. When the Statue of Freedom was placed on top of the wrought iron dome 145 years ago, President Abraham Lincoln could say of it that it was probably the best sign that the nation would stay intact. Now, the dome with the Statue of Freedom on top stands nearly a football field in length high. It's 288 feet to be exact. If you took the Statue of Liberty that's in the New York Harbor off its base, it would fit comfortably under this dome. Now think about that when President Lincoln, who had grown up in a one-room log cabin, who read by the light from the fireplace, that he could stand outside as you did today, perhaps when you came and admired the beauty of this building and the magnificence of it. It pretty much was to him, when it was completed, as we see it today. There was an extension on the front part, but basically it's as he would have seen it. This room that we're in is called the Rotunda. It really is at the heart of the Capitol. That doorway to your left, behind you there on the left side, is the hallway to the east. I've got to ask you to come back. The senators, there are 100, 2 from each state, each elected for 6-year terms. Now to the back of me and across the way to the other hallway is the entrance to the United States House of Representatives. That chamber there are 435 representatives based or apportioned on population, and there's a shift in the states, of course, because of movement in the Sun Belt and so on. But that figure stays constant. There's the 435 are elected for 2-year terms in the House of Representatives. This rotunda is used for great ceremonial occasions in the nation. From Abraham Lincoln on, there have been 11 presidents who have laid in state here in the rotunda. The most recent was President Gerald Ford. The second inauguration for Ronald Reagan took place in here. It was a bitter cold outside, 7 degrees, and so they moved it in. It could have standing room for about 900 visitors.
It's an extremely important day for the United States and for Africa. We've elected our first African American president whose heritage is in Kenya, and we think that this is really a tremendous, tremendous advance for freedom and democracy across the world. I am Jindai Fraser, former Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs. My position came to an end at noon today when President Obama took his oath of office, and I am extremely proud to be an American today.